Here's an idea for building out a pair of rogues if you want to manually dual box when Diablo 4 releases. The build revolves around passively doing as much damage as possible and the ease of use for dual boxing. A few key ideas about the build is that we want our enemies to always be vulnerable, but that should be easy once the vulnerability is initialized. We're building around Lucky Hit and all the procs that it comes with, so we want to prioritize that. And finally, we're thinking about energy regen throughout the build so that we can spam flurries. Since this is a dual box, one hand, one mouse type of build, we want everything to be simple. All we want to do is dump energy on flurry. The reason being is that flurry is AoE, so we just have to focus a little bit on our positioning. We don't have to click on any targets. Diving into the build, we're going to use all three imbuements and the shadow clone. These are kind of set it and forget it. Once you press it, they do cool effects. And then we're using preparation. Since we're gaining a lot of energy, we're going to be spending a lot of energy, and we're just going to be spamming flurry as much as possible. Puncture is to initialize the vulnerability, and then flurry should spread it around with its modifiers. But let's go look at the aspects. On the rings, we have these two resource aspects. So whenever we heal, which there is a bit of healing in this build, and because we're using flurry, we're going to gain some energy. It's kind of a lot of life that you have to heal. And I'm actually curious if it works with health pots, but if it doesn't, or if it does, whatever, we'll see. And then this other one is whenever you kill a vulnerable enemy, you regen some energy. So everyone's going to be vulnerable. We should always be recovering energy. For the helm, I would like the unique, but we can also just heal for close enemies. Going down to the chest, the gloves, this dual wield, this other dual wield, all of these are just buffing up our imbuements and against vulnerable enemies in particular. So that's pretty much a given, as well as the ranged weapon. We want to juice up our flurry. That's just a given. There's no other choice there, really. For the pants, we're going to heal from our key passive. We're using Victimize, which synergizes with vulnerability. And finally, for the amulet, we're going to juice up our clone. Heading over to the skill tree, we're just going to select the points as we go. We're going to take Puncture to make enemies vulnerable with this modifier. We're going to take Sturdy, make us a little bit more sturdy, but mostly because we want to take Siphoning Strikes to heal. We're going to take Maximum Flurry, that's a given, and then we are going to spread the vulnerability with this. That's going to make sure that once an enemy is vulnerable, they're all going to be vulnerable. We're skipping the agility row, but we are going to take Exploit here and Malice to do extra damage to vulnerable enemies, which should be everyone. And then we're going to take all imbuements. 1 point in each, max shadow imbuement, 1 extra point in poison imbuement, take all of their enhancements, take the lucky hit modifiers. I think that's better for poison imbuement, and then the lucky hit modifier for the cold imbuement. We want precision imbuement to gain crit chance because we're going to be pressing imbuements a lot, so we want to be critting a lot, and that also heals us with siphoning strikes. We want Shadow Crash and Consuming Shadows. For killing trash mobs, we're just going to hopefully have infinite energy. Max out our Shadow Clone because that's the best. We're going to take Innervation because we want to have extra energy on lucky hits, and we're kind of building for lucky hits. And then Alchemist Fortune, since we're using all three imbuements, our non-physical damage should be often, and that should give us increased lucky hit chance. And then finally, Victimize, vulnerable and lucky hit. It just feels like this build was made for this key passive. And we're going to include that. Let's not forget Aftermath. And that should be it. That should be our build. Now, just to summarize the idea with this, if you are running 2 rogues, the best way to do this is you have one main button to press, and that is Flurry. You stay on the rogues where they need to be, and you spam Flurry. You have to cycle through your imbuements, sure, and you have to make sure the enemies are vulnerable, sure, but once that's done, you just spam Flurry. Hopefully the healing keeps you alive. We'll play on a difficulty that keeps you alive, and you can clear most of the content you need to. And then you'll have 2 endgame rogues. Maybe share the loot, maybe pick the rogue that has the better unique drops or better legendary drops, and then go from there. That might be my plan.